The first statistic that I give all of my clients comes from a study that they did at UCLA, which is there are 3 components to your message: verbal, vocal, and visual. What would you guess that people remember of the actual words that you say? What's the percentage? Any guesses? Yes?
15.
Yes? 5. Any others? Any others? 7. Okay, people only remember 7% of the words you're going to say. 38% of your impact comes from your tonal quality, so what your voice is doing while you're talking, and 55% comes from what your body's doing while you're speaking. So what I do when I work with clients, and what I'll talk about today, is how do you then maximize your 7% so that it is memorable, so that when you leave and you're one of 50 or 100 candidates who's come in, you're the one who sticks out in their mind. And then how do you begin to manage the other stuff so that you don't detract from it? So the words that you say. Yale University did a study of the 12 most influential words in the English language. The most influential word in the English language is you. So the more that you can, when you're talking to people, be like, oh, as I'm sure you know, as I'm sure you've heard, all of this stuff. People begin to listen differently because they feel included in the conversation. The other thing I want you to think about is to stop using what's known in my business as useless modifiers. It's great, it's incredible, it's wonderful, it was amazing, it was so cool. That doesn't mean anything, right? I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about your cell phone? Are you talking about your lunch? Are you talking about your date last night? You need to tell me why, okay? So this is particularly important for what's known as softball questions. Those questions that are so big you don't know how to swing it. So you walk into your job interview and, okay, you're candidate number 672. And let's face it, they probably haven't spent a lot of time looking at your resume. So they go, tell me about yourself. Okay, if you don't have a story to go to in that moment, you're a little bit stuck. Or if they say, tell me about your last job, you want to have a story. Okay? The thing I like most about my last job was working with my team. One day I remember we did this, we did this, we did this. Okay? You have to have stories for those softball questions. What did you love most about college? My favorite thing about college was X. Usually it's something that shows you being a leader, being incredibly cooperative, overcoming a challenge. You know how that goes. But you need to have that very particular thing. Studies show that people remember stories longer, trust them more, and repeat them more accurately. So I need to have all that for the softballs. I don't know, work as if you want to get motivated about it, work with each other and eradicate them. How was your sandwich? Tell me a story about it. How was the movie? Tell me about it. How was your date? Tell me about it. Tell me a story. I want to hear about it. Okay, because and then it's going to start to bug you, right? I can't even watch award shows anymore. Like SAG Awards, did you see them? Golden Globes, did you see them? Academy Awards, are you starting to flinch? Oh my God, I love the director, he was amazing, the crew was amazing, the cast was amazing. It's just like, and I'm in the, like this, I'm like throwing stuff at the set. It's enough to make me just hang myself. Tell me why, or don't talk about it. So there you go, now I've ruined the Academy Awards for all of you. So that's your 7%. 38% of your impact comes from your tonal quality, so what your voice is doing while you're talking. And the easiest way to give you a sense about that is, if you go over to somebody's house and they've got like one of those little dogs and he's jumping all over you, and your friend's like, oh, you're such a bad dog, you're the worst dog in the world, right? Okay, the dog is not getting that it's in trouble. There's nothing about that makes the dog stop doing what it's doing. When you greet somebody and you say, I'm happy to meet you, I need you to sound happy. It's such a small thing. But a lot of people will come up and be like, no, I'm really happy to meet you. Okay, no, happy, put the happy in the happy. Think about it. If you do nothing else after today, you want to possibly go back to your room and re-record your voicemail greeting. It is the first contact the majority of the world may have with you. All right? It's a situation. I don't want a lot of things. I don't want ambient noise. I don't want you to sound like you've recorded it in a car with all the windows down on the way to the Crystal Mall, right? I don't want to hear that. I don't want you to sound rushed. I don't want you to sound drunk. I don't want you to sound flirtatious. I don't want you to sound half dead, okay? You've heard all of those messages, haven't you? I want you to stand while you record it, because standing automatically gives your voice so much more energy and enthusiasm. I want you to inhale before you begin to hit record, then hit record, and then speak on an exhalation. Because you get a lot of these where people hit record, they go, hi. A lot of times people will say, I'm sorry I missed your call. Like I was working with this guy recently, and he's like, well, can you listen to my voicemail message? So I called up, and he says, hey, this is so-and-so, and I am sorry to miss your call. And I was like, dude, you sound like you're going to Disney World, right? You do not sound sorry. I want genuine regret in your voice. Because it's just, anyway, you get it, right? So voicemail greeting, very important. As you begin to speak, begin to think about speaking from your diaphragm, which is speaking from down here. If I'm not speaking from my diaphragm, let me see. If I'm not speaking from my diaphragm, then I'm speaking from up here, right? I have no authority right now. And it's also really hard to listen to that kind of voice for any length of time. And also if you're doing any kind of public presenting, it's really hard to get enough oxygen to breathe, okay? So you need to be speaking from down here. If you're not sure if your diaphragm is engaged, put your hands on your abdomen. If your hands aren't moving, your diaphragm's not engaged, okay? Oh, and by the way, men, I had a male client ask me one day, he's like, I don't think men have those. Seriously, hand to God. I was like, this is so not like a problem that's beyond my pay grade to handle. But so yes, everybody's got them, and you want to be using them. So your physicality, what your body is doing while you're talking. Obviously, this is the best way that you can be standing in any situation. Is, you know, if any of you are doing acting, it's standing in neutral. You're not doing this, right? This is not going on. I don't want to see. People think they're faking me out when they do that. Then there's this one. This one's a good default. That one, right? All of these things are making you look less confident. You need to be just like this. It has to be open. Okay. So when you're sitting, you see, well, again, I don't break everything down on gender lines, but there are two ways that it usually goes. Okay? So there's this. I don't want to see that. You look like you're way too cool to be there. If you cannot even be bothered to sit up in your chair, why should I give you the job? Okay? So I need you to be up and in and happy and going and doing and being, okay? You don't want to be like prim and anxious at the end of your chair, but you know, you're excited. You want to be having the conversation. We trust you when we can see your hands. We don't trust you when we can't. Seriously, keep your hands on the table if you're sitting at a table. Don't put them in your lap. Keep them out of your pockets. It's a really important point. So the other thing to think about, again, as I said, it doesn't always break down along gender lines. What I notice, though, is that very often gentlemen tend to take up more space. I don't know if you guys are down in New York riding the subway, but there's this kind of thing that's happening. Yeah. What's that about? What is it about? Whereas, then the ladies have become very small. This is us on the subway, right? We're like here, then we have our pocketbook and our packages, right? We could not be more minute. It's not a good thing, all right? So if you're big, make yourself small. If you're small, make yourself big. Just organize yourself, because it's 55% of your impact, and it does begin to matter a lot. So the website for the book, so it's How to Wow. The website is www.howtowow-thebook.com. There's a button on there called questions. It means you can send me questions. I swear to you, I answer every single question that I get. So please send your questions. I'm happy to help you. I touch a lot of different industries. If there's something you want to get into, let me know, because I will pull any kind of connection out for you guys. It's no problem at all. And we're good. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.